If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pits, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Monday Night Meltdown has begun, and this might be one of the busiest Mondays that we've ever had at this time of the year before. It's been one blockbuster story after another. The NFL has taken center stage, but Major League Baseball news. Garrett Cole has been shut down. Tommy John is in his future. The New York Yankees season hasn't started yet. It's an absolute train wreck. One injury after another. They've already lost Juan Soto. Stanton is out. Heel is out. Now Garrett Cole is going to be done for the year. There's been massive line movement as far as the futures are concerned. Remember last week we were talking about the Boston Red Sox and how the Red Sox look like the best bet in the division. They were like plus 400, plus 425, depending on where you were betting it. It's down to the plus 300 range right now. There was significant movement after the Garrett Cole announcement, which really shouldn't, it goes to show how sort of slow the market was, in the sense that I think we all kind of expected that Garrett Cole was going to be injured for real. But nevertheless, we'll get into that. George Kurt's going to join us. Joe Madden in the house. We've got the Raging Redhead, Cam Stewart. A wild day in the National Football League today. Nothing really consequential, right? Players move teams, and players, they change teams. They get new jerseys and fan bases, talk about it and get excited about it. There's a lot of sort of, Spider-Man, memes going on here, right? Geno Smith, Sam Darnold's of the world, Justin Fields. Do any of these teams get any better? The odds makers didn't think so. There's been absolutely no movement whatsoever. But just in case, I don't know, maybe you got arrested earlier in the day. Maybe you just got out of a coma or something like that. But Sam Darnold's the new quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, Geno Smith is the new quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. The New York Jets signed Justin Fields. So, I finally got one quarterback prediction right. If you recall, I said Justin Fields to the Jets makes a lot of sense for both of them. But I also thought Daniel Jones made a lot of sense for the Raiders. Raiders go with Geno Smith. Instead, the Pittsburgh Steelers, DK Metcalf last night, man, it's almost overwhelming, Oh yeah, and Zach Wilson's now a Miami Dolphin. figure we'd throw that in there. Kyle Juszczyk is going to get released by the San Francisco 49ers. Darnold gets a $100 million 3-year deal from the Seattle Seahawks. Cooper Kupp is set to be released from the Rams because nobody wants to trade for him. Of course, Devontae Adams has signed, is now a member of the Los Angeles Rams. Like, that was just over the weekend. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Justin Fields gets $40 million from the New York Jets, 2-year deal, $20 million for Justin Fields, who I think does deserve a chance at an opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He was last year. He was 4-2 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, all right, you gave $50 million to DK Metcalf. You don't have a quarterback, right? So the Steelers are running out of options at quarterback right now as well. And it seems I got to believe it's going to be Russell Wilson. I don't think they're going to do Aaron Rodgers. And there's talk right now that Wilson is getting interest from the New York Giants as well, that's potentially on the table. But there's a lot of lateral movement here, right? This is a weak free agent class to begin with, and we expected a lot of movement with these quarterbacks, but nobody's getting overly excited about any of these moves. And it's funny because the Jets were 150-1 to win the Super Bowl before. Now, listen, they're different odds in different places. But I believe I saw it was DraftKings has the Jets at 150-1. They got Justin Fields. The odds are now 150-1. The Raiders are 100-1 to win the Super Bowl before they got Geno Smith. They get Geno Smith. The odds to win the Super Bowl 100-1. You know what catches my eye about that? Like, why would the Raiders be 100-1 and the Jets be 150-1? Like, between the two of them, as crazy as it sounds, like the Jets are better than the Raiders are. like the Raiders, you know what I mean? The Jets actually have really good players. Right? That's the whole thing with the Jets. On paper, the Jets are pretty good. Now they bring in Justin Fields. They have a new coach, right? It's all about the environment with the Jets. But put it this way, I take the Jets more seriously now than I did in the last couple of years with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and he can still throw the ball. Yeah, he can still throw it if he has 10 seconds in the pocket, which you don't in a modern NFL. He's a massive distraction to any team that he's on. You know, and I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything like that, but I'm just stating at some points, like, why would, you know what I mean? It's like, no, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to help. Like, Justin Fields, it'll be more of a positive environment. It'll just sort of, the new coaching staff, everything will be more positive, I think, and football focused with the New York Jets. So I don't really buy that the New York Giants are going to do it to bring Aaron Rodgers in. They just saw what happened with the New York Jets. I think they're going to go with Shedeur Sanders. But, hey, listen, we'll get into it. George Kurtz will step up, and then Cam Stewart in the house will get Cam's thoughts. His Seahawks revamped. DK Metcalf now a Steeler. Sam Darnold's now the quarterback. All right, so college basketball. Everybody talks about March Madness. But you know what? March Madness is kind of like, for lack of a better term, amateurs, right? It's a lot, you know what March Madness is? March Madness is like New Year's Eve. You know, everybody goes out on New Year's Eve, all right? I don't, personally, but you know what I'm saying? There's a couple of those, like, you know, it's like Saturdays. Like, hardcore partiers are going out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and stuff, not just Saturdays. But everybody, March Madness is coming, and it's going to be crazy. There's going to be basketball. I've said this for years. This is the March Madness right now. Like, you're not going to top this week. There's way more basketball on now than there will be during March Madness. The first 2 days of March Madness are cool, and the first weekend's all right, but they've even found a way to screw up the first Saturdays and Sundays of this stuff, right? Like, once you get through the first Thursday and Friday, it's really just like, there's less games than a typical Saturday suddenly. It's not like there's some like wall-to-wall basketball. The games just count. It's the tournament. But they really spread it out now, right? In the old days, they used to have every game on at once, basically. It was like, yeah, you know what? Tough. Well, we're putting them all on at once. And it was cool. You'd be watching a game. You'd have your eye on the scoreboard in the corner, and you'd be like, you know what I mean? You'd hope that they'd cut into it and stuff. This is like in the old days before you could just, I'm going to watch this and watch it online and this and that, right? But now, it's like, all right, we'll have a game at 12, we'll have a game at 3, we'll have a game at 5, and it's just okay. It's like, it doesn't have that tournament feel to it. This does, Like, there's games going on, man, and it's awesome stuff. You know, Wolford tonight, and who was it? Furman. You know, trip to the tournament on the line. The loser's not getting in. That's what college basketball is all about. And we got all the conference tournaments going on, right? Well, teams are starting to punch their tickets into the dance. Some of them are coming to an end already, but we got a bunch of them going on, and we got the big-time conferences stepping up this week. We'll get you caught up to date with all the odds and give you my thoughts on some of the futures. All right, as far as tonight is concerned, Leafs. The Leafs in Utah have just dropped the puck, and I don't win Leaf games. I don't bet on the Leafs a lot. I don't bet on them very often. I don't really bet against them very often either, if you'll notice. I don't really bet a lot of Leaf games, and it seems like when I do, I'm wrong. We took them to beat Vegas the other night as an underdog. They didn't get it done. I took Colorado to beat them, and Colorado did win. The Leafs are due for a win tonight, aren't they? Right? How many games are they going to lose in a row here after their 5-game win streak? So I think the Leafs are the play tonight. College of Charleston getting 8.5 in-game right now. I like it. Let's roll.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I'm Gabriel Morency, the Monday Night Meltdown, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. Very, very busy day today, the National Football League. And, of course, busy weekend from Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, now Sam Darnold to Seattle, Justin Fields to the New York Jets. So there's been a lot of movement. Najee Harris, former Pittsburgh Steeler running back, has just signed a one-year contract with Joe Madden's Los Angeles Chargers. And you look at Harbaugh. He did this last year, in which he brought in Edwards and Dobbins, and he got pretty good production from them. And they were both coming off of injuries. You see Harbaugh's mentality is, let's get a veteran back and run him into the ground, sign him to a one-year deal, and we'll move on after. But interesting picture out there that just popped up of Najee Harris decked out in Michigan Wolverine gear, and Harbaugh recruited him heavily to Michigan, but he didn't get him. He went to Alabama, obviously. But Najee Harris, I don't think is a great running back. I think he's a good running back. I don't know, like he's not a star running back. He's a serviceable, he's a serviceable guy that's, he's decent. But with that being stated, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Harbaugh's smart, right? He only got a 1 year. The Steelers just let him go. He's going to be running for money right now. Like playing for simple as bring in Joe Madden. We got Cam Stewart in the house as well. See, we got a little bit of technical glitches here tonight. Hopefully this works out. But good to see you, Joe. How you doing, Cam? Joe, Leafs in Utah. Who do you have in this game?
Ooh, I'm rolling against Cam's Leafs in this one. I've got Utah on the money line. They're at plus 102 right now on the money line. I just can't trust what we've seen out of Toronto in some of these games. They've been solid and they've been letting the games go. And Utah, coming out of the break of the Four Nations, has been playing some great hockey. So I do think they're live, but I think this total is live to the over as well at plus 100 to the over 5.5. I'm seeing the goals coming. I do think Mitch Marner can get on the board there for Toronto. And then when we look at Utah, I would look at Dylan Guenther on the power play. We know their power play is pretty decent, but the kill of the Leafs, they've been allowing these goals to come in. So Dylan Guenther on the power play for Utah to get that point.
Toronto Maple Leafs coming off of a 7-4 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. They lost 5-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they were losing 5-0 in that game. And, of course, they lost to the San Jose Sharks. They had a 5-game win streak going. That their bubble has been burst. I don't bet on the Leafs often. And when I do, they seem to let me down, to be honest. I took them against the Vegas Golden Knights. I was on the San Jose Sharks. And like I said off the top of the show, I don't bet a lot of Leaf games. I didn't have any action on the Pittsburgh game. I bet Leafs first period over sometimes, but I did take the Leafs tonight out of the simple the sharp guy betting angle. Team can't lose 4 games in a row. That's my angle tonight. But I don't think Utah are okay. Utah, they're in the mix for the playoffs right now. But the Leafs need to step up. Like, it goes from, well, you know what, don't worry about it. We're only worried about the playoffs and stuff. But whatever, dude, you got to start winning games. You can't lose every game every night. And then suddenly the wheels start to fall off. And not to mention, you got other teams like, you got to worry about the standings as well. It's a big game for the Leafs, Ken. They got to stop the bleeding. You can't lose 5 in a row, bro. Like, they got to win tonight.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. And trust seems to be a very important word here at SportsGrid. Tony Finn with no trust, Gabe, with the Dodgers rotation, and Joe, no trust in the Leafs. And there are a hard team to trust. But I will say this, to your point, Morency, I think it's a spot play tonight. They were actually playing really well versus Colorado until the third period. And then the minute they gave it up, they just fell apart. That's the problem with this team. They got to get mentally tougher. And this is a game you can win. It's very disappointing losses. You blew a 2-goal lead against the Sharks. You screwed that game up. You got dominated by Vegas early. It came back too late. And then Colorado, you were winning that game, and then you fell and got smoked in the last minutes of the game. I'm on the Leafs tonight too, Gabe. It's only 15, 20 cents. Seems like a pretty short price, but it'll be a tight one. Utah's playing good hockey. Give me the Leafs.
And as you stated last week, I was defending the Leafs when I said they're on a 5-game win streak, but they were close games. It was like they won 6-5 in overtime against Pittsburgh. They won 3-2 against the Rangers. They won 5-4 against the Bruins. They were playing in close games. And now, now it's just sort of, it's tough to get up for every game every night, but disappointing trip for these guys. Like, Like, you should be up for playing the Vegas Golden Knights. You got to be up for playing on a Saturday night against the Colorado Avalanche. And now tonight against Utah, but Joe says the Utah Hockey Club get it done tonight. You say, Joe.
Yeah, I do think they have every ability to get the win here. I just love what we've been seeing out of them. Clayton Keller's really been clicking out there. Dylan Gunther, ever since returning from injury, has been able to light the lamp and get those assists as well. So I think this team should come out nice and strong. I just don't trust the kill of Toronto either. That those numbers are just not as high as I'd like to see. And I do think Utah, with how they've been playing, and this is not a team that I've been trusting all season. I actually came out of that Four Nations break and was fading them, and they were costing me money. They were getting these wins when they were playing much stronger teams, but they've been able to get these goals on the board. So, and I also looked at Toronto, and it just felt like a price that was too good to be true. Like when I looked this morning, it was minus 118 for the Leafs. When do we ever get the Leafs at such a short price? The books always make us overpay for them.
This is a massive game for the Utah Hockey Club tonight. They've played themselves into the playoff conversation right now. They're only 3 points behind they're 4 points behind the playoff spot. They're 3 points behind Vancouver, who are 1 point out of the playoff spot. Calgary and Vancouver just keep sort of going back and forth right now. St. Louis Blues are tied with the Canucks suddenly. But Utah played less games. So, this is a big game for them. To get the win here and get another 2 points. So this is actually another reason for me not to want them to win. But like you said, Joe, they're 7-1-2 in their last 10 hockey games. I got to give them credit. They're not an expansion team, though. Arizona was coming on over the last couple of years. We saw last year they started to get better. And now, I'm not surprised that they're a decent team, but I'm still going to stand pat with the Leafs tonight. And I should note, it is the smallest bet I made tonight. It was more of a
Canucks bet. Yeah, don't trust me. I don't have a lot.
It was more of a recreational. I was one game. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll take the Leafs.
A little on the Leafs. Well, at least we're on the same side, Gabe. We're not usually. I know you fade the Leafs a lot, and for good reason.
I'm assuming I'm blacked out. I bet you I don't get the game.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, what sports books could go there. I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll this SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. So college basketball, the begun. And as I stated earlier, it's not just about the actual tournament. That's amateur hour. That's like New Year's Eve or Halloween. That's when everybody goes out. These conference tournaments is where the money is at, and this is when the basketball marathon is actually going on. It'll start I guess tomorrow, when you're going to have like day games all day long and stuff like that, all the way through to Sunday into the bracket, the selection Sunday this Sunday, and then the tournament next week. And oh yeah, baseball starts in 8 days too. Baseball starts next Tuesday night with the Dodgers and the Cubs. 52-37 right now for St. Mary's. I bet I took the over this game, and I didn't want to do it, but I was like, you know what? I'll take the 20.5 points in game here with Pepperdine and hope for the best, but I didn't go big on it. If I get the over, I'll be happy here, but I'm expecting St. Mary's to eventually pull away here in this game. Pepperdine played well to start off the game. All right, so college basketball update right now, and we'll get to some picks. Still scoreless in the hockey game in Utah. Still scoreless in the hockey game in Chicago. And I can tell you guys, late night tonight in the NHL, but as somebody that I bet a lot of first periods, Joe, and low-scoring night tonight. I went 0-2 with my first period overs, 1.5. The Detroit-Ottawa game stayed under, and what was the first game of the night? The first game of the night. Yeah, the Sabres and Oilers stayed under in the first period. Now look at both these games right now, scoreless. Chicago and Colorado scoreless mid in the second period, Joe.
Yeah, this is one that I don't understand how we don't have any goals. I think Colorado did have a goal taken back. I saw that 1-0 kind of score in that first period.
Doesn't count, Joe.
Yeah, it doesn't count, but there was a goal that it looked like did come in. Yeah. But it's crazy. But Spencer Knight, he's really the answer for Chicago. I love what we're seeing out of him. He's being peppered out here by Colorado. We're seeing those shots come in on him. And then Mackenzie Blackwood is pretty solid between the pipes for the Colorado Avalanche. But this one, I expected something at this point in the second.
Well, Chicago's on a 5-on-3, guys. We'll see if Colorado can get out of it. That's concerning with lots of time left, too.
I like to see the numbers compared to the days of the week and overs and unders. I got to feel like every once in a while it'll catch up. I remember years ago, and I believe it was on a Monday, actually, Coolius was adamant. He's like, hey, I know you bet, Gabe, and Monday, I'm telling you, they don't score. And you can't blanket coverage it, but one thing I know watching a lot of hockey lately is teams look very tired in the NHL. Players, you notice a lot of fighting. Players are frustrated. The trade deadline was stressful for a lot of people in the league. You just sort of notice a lot of tension and stuff like that. And they're real people, guys, right? It's not a video game. So, you're playing on, and Thursday night you're in Vegas, and then suddenly Saturday night you're in this big game in Denver. Now you're in Utah on a Monday night. You get Chicago and Colorado. Colorado flat tonight against Chicago. There's just no goals being scored here. So it's one of those flat type of games. Not to mention, too, I mean, how many people, let's say if you play on Saturday, it's the dreaded issue, too. It's something to think about with regular season. Teams that play on the Saturday at home, and then they play at Monday at home again. Some of these dudes are going out and living it up pretty hard. They're not too interested in the Monday game after. And you see it right now. A lot of flat teams in the NHL tonight.
Yes, I don't understand exactly what's happening too, and there've been opportunities in all these games too with power plays and stuff. Good call, Morency. It's just they look a little bit slow, a little bit sloppy. It's a long season. These guys kill each other on a night-to-night basis, and after the Four Nations, we're going to have more back-to-backs, and it's going to take its toll for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Scoreless still in both hockey games. In-game total 4.5 in Toronto and Utah right now. Chicago and Colorado still scoreless. In-game total 3.5, Joe, right now. All the way down to 3.5.
It's too low, though, right? As soon as the floodgates open, you feel like it's going to stay open there. If you get Chicago scoring and then Colorado tying it up, then we have, I would take the over 3.5 at plus 130. I think we still get 4 goals in this one. I have to bite there. It's just too low for me. Can we finish 2-0, though, for Colorado? I don't know. Spencer Knight is playing hot. Could it be 2-0 for the Blackhawks? Maybe it's the under, you guys. I'm nervous with this one.
That'll be like the only positive of the Chicago Blackhawks season. Like if they like, all right, we got a goalie at least out of this, like, going into next year. Blackhawks are in Vancouver this Saturday, actually. I think I'm going to go to the game.
Oh, wow.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, well, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So St. Mary's are starting to pull away right now. They're up by 20 on, what is it right now? 21 to be exact, 59-38 on Pepperdine. The next game should be better, though, here with San Francisco and Gonzaga. Although it should be noted, Gonzaga generally murder these guys. We'll see if the Dons can step up, like with some sort of, heroic performance tonight. I'm not in love with the Dons. It's 14. I think whatever. We'll get caught with this point spread. Are you betting the college basketball, Joe? Tonight? Any games?
Yeah, I looked at San Francisco and Gonzaga. I did lay the points with Gonzaga. We know this team is really strong at winning by double digits. San Francisco, though, might be able to hit those threes on them. So that gave me a little bit of concern. I took the over at 155.5, though. I think that was my more solid bet than Gonzaga laying the points. But I still think both can have the possibility of hitting in this one game.
Yeah, this number's getting stupid with the total. Like, it's really climbing. It was like 151.5 last night. And what'd you say? 155.5 right now? What do I got? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I see 157 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
6.5, like 150. Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Like, people are hammering the over this game. They set it too light. That's the one thing. Right? Like the I've seen it when there's been a lot of movement in these conference games. Like even the smaller tier teams, right? Like teams will open, like the odds makers set the line sort of like the regular season. And these games are getting, like, put it this way. How many people bet on like a Robert Morris game against Oakland in the regular season? Not many, right? How many people bet Robert Morris in Oakland game tonight? A hell of a lot, right? So there's like a ton there's a ton of like line movement with this stuff. I saw it last night with Robert Morris. And I was like, you know what? 140. This is going to move. It was like 135, 140 on the money line is pretty low for them. Lo and behold, it was 170. I knew this number was going to move today too, Joe. But wow, 157 right now. Dear God.
That's huge.
That's insane.
I wonder.
That's like 5.5, 6 point swing from the opening number here.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get a better number though? Like if they start off really hot, San Francisco's hitting those threes, it's just going to continue to climb, right? Like, and then will we get too high where we can go under? I don't want to take it under though, 155, 157.5. I think that's just like slightly low, but are we going to get 165 points? I don't know. So I think you can play the number in live, but
like you said, well, the total should get there. You're sort of losing the value. This is probably what it should have been. It probably should have opened at 155 or something like that. They opened it a little light, but like you said, San Francisco are really dependent on 3-point shots. Mm-hmm. So if the shots are falling for them, the total's going to get there. Gonzaga's going to score on San Francisco. San Francisco are good, right? I mean, they're a 24-win team, San Francisco. They're 24-8, which is pretty impressive. They, you know what I mean? But there's a ceiling, right? Like they can't beat St. Mary's. They can't beat Gonzaga. Like they've gotten lit up. They beat Gonzaga once in this tournament, like 6 years ago or something, 7 years ago. And Gonzaga have never forgotten it. like they've lit them up like pretty much every time that they played since. And Gonzaga are in a bad mood too. Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I'm like an underdog better, Joe. But
yeah,
Gonzaga are in a bad mood. I think they're on a collision course here with St. Mary's. I did love the over this game. It's getting crazy now, 157, but I still think it gets there. But I didn't lay the points with Gonzaga either. But I think Gonzaga probably cover. I'm just betting the over of that game. What's your pick, Ken?
Well, Gabe, kind of like your Maple Leafs bet, which is the smallest of your units, I'm going to go small on San Francisco for all the thoughts that you said. I think the number's a tad too big, but yes, there are three-point shooting team. Gonzaga's been great at the end of the year. Remember, Gabe, all those nights we were doing the show and they were down and then they come back and murder teams. They've been on a hot streak. They're scoring. Yeah, that total should get there, but I'm going to take a shot with the Dons at 14.5. I think they can cover that number.
So as I stated, they play every year, obviously. Yeah. And Gonzaga has just lit them up. So 95-75, 88-77 actually wasn't that bad. You had an 89-77, an 89-68, 77-72, 84-73. So you sort of see Cisco are sort of right there, but it gets away for them as the game goes. But I thought coming into today that San Francisco, this game was like no one thought Pepperdine had a chance in this game. They were 19.5, 18.5, 19.5 point underdogs. Even though San Francisco are 14 or whatever, they do have a chance, right? Like Pepperdine suck. San Francisco don't suck. So San Francisco are pretty good, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat them. Can they cover? Let's hope so. So it's a fun game, but I'm going to hit the over, and we'll ride it out in game. I jumped in on, I got not lucky, but I'm betting so many games. I didn't get my College of Charleston bet in. I got the over bet in, but I didn't get the Charleston bet in. I was going to take them at +5, and they were down big, and I ended up taking them at plus 10.5. Now they're down by 6, but my over is a little off there right now. Youngstown State was crushing Cleveland State early. It was just like 14-5, but I look up right now, it's suddenly 17-13. Really low scoring, though. There's only 4 minutes left in the first half here. Youngstown State and Cleveland State playing to go to the Horizon League Championship game. We have an upset in the making here as well. Idaho are beating Portland State, the Vandals. And Portland State own these guys. They always beat them. And Idaho are up a 12 spot right now. And Incarnate and Nicholls State, dear God, they're going to overtime, tied at 63. Wow. Cam, any picks here in these games?
I'm on Incarnate. I have them +6.5 live, too. I don't need no stinking overtime. Everything was going good. Just lose by 1. Everything would have been perfect. But we're heading to overtime. No, Gabe, I have Incarnate word. Maybe a little play in-game with the Youngstown State Penguins game with your Cleveland State Vikings. That should be a very, very entertaining game. That's all I got right now on the board. I got Incarnate word. They've been very good to me, and I'm sticking with them.
I'm going to say that Nickel State wins this game. It's a pick 'em right now. It's minus 115. Overtime has just started. 63-63. So the game is a pick 'em. I wanted to jump in on Nickel State earlier, and I didn't. I was like, I think Nickel State are going to beat them. I didn't do it, and here they are in overtime right now. St. Mary's have officially started to pull away for real on Pepperdine. They're up by 26 right now. And in the NBA, wild game tonight, actually. I've been so focused on these college games, but in the NBA, you had the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'm kicking myself for not betting the over game. Track meet, 140 to 127 final score. The Denver Nuggets, 13 points on the road at Oklahoma City, and it was a stat palooza tonight. Everybody went off in this game. Jokic went off, SGA went off, Dort went off, Jamal Murray racked it up tonight. So big win for the Denver Nuggets in Oklahoma City tonight. You got the Knicks and the Kings. Any NBA for you, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm riding with the Knicks here at minus 116 straight up on the money line. We've seen that drop. The spread was 2.5 before on the Knicks. I think they can come out nice and strong. I know no Brunson in this lineup, but I'm expecting them to have, the next man up kind of game in this. And then I had the Golden State Warriors. I laid the 12.5 live. You got to lay 14.5 right now. I took Steph Curry over for his points. I believe that number was 26.5, 27.5. Either way, I think he hits right around 30 points tonight.
I watched the Sacramento Clipper game last night. I jumped in on the Clippers late, and it went to overtime, the game. So Sacramento played in overtime last night. I would lean Sacramento here, but the fact that they played last night, the Knicks without Brunson, like you said, at some point they're going to have to dig down deep and find a way to start winning games without him. They came close the other night against the Clippers. Tough spot here tonight. The Kings are leading 5-0 right now, but I do lean Kings here.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
St. Mary's are just bludgeoning Pepperdine right now. It's ugly. Make it stop. He's already dead. 68-40, 7.5 left in the game. This is one of the reasons I thought Pepperdine could cover maybe. I was like, St. Mary's get up by like 20 or something like that. They're going to start thinking, listen, we got to play Gonzaga tomorrow night or Wednesday night, whatever it is. I think it's tomorrow, though. Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? When's the championship game? So anyways, I was like, you know what? They're going to pull their guys and, they're going to be up big and stuff, but they will, but they're up so big. They're nearly up 30 right now. I got the over this game, Joe, 137. I need Pepperdine. The kid just bricked a free throw. I need Pepperdine to score. Like, this is what it's up to them. I don't know if you guys were watching earlier tonight. It was a great game. Wolford and Furman. And it was a trip to the dance on the line. And it's great. The Furman fans had towels. F-U. Furman University.
That's what they hate. That's cool.
Yeah, they're all holding up these towels. It just says like F-U on them. Like, I couldn't help but crack up. Like, every time they shot, a bunch of kids stood up with these F-U signs. And I'm like, well, there's nothing anyone can do about it. It's Furman University. You can't stop them.
I didn't know, Gabe,
it's not like
that rivalry.
F-U, it's just F-U.
They hate Wofford. Like, Furman and Wofford are like the Hatfields and the McCoys. I didn't realize the hate between those.
It was quite the game.
Oh yeah, no, they had an interview. I saw a guy at Furman and the Paladins. He goes, I hate anything more. The most of my hate, I hate Wofford. Those stupid Terriers. They hate. I love that. F you.
That was a great game.
Go Paladins.
There's a dude on Wofford who's going to get some love in the tournament because, like I said, these kids are dumb too. Like, I haven't seen anybody like that looks really insane or like goofy or something. Like, basically, Joe, every March Madness, there's going to be a couple of these kid players that no one's ever really seen before, and they become internet sensations and sort of cult heroes, and they make a couple of bucks out of it. You know what I mean? They cash in when their popularity's hot, but you've got to have like wild hair. You've got to like wear glasses. Goggles are good. Like, I would like teach a class like to these kids on like how to market. I'd say, listen, it's NCAA tournament time coming up. Why don't you dye your hair like the old Rainbow Man, like, or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to come up with like crazy stuff, and then you'll stand out. Or like if you're a goofy looking kid to begin with, you just need some sort of shtick. It's like wrestling, Joe. You need like an angle. Right, like the Robbie Avila with the fat kid with the goggles cam, right?
I love that.
If he didn't have goggles, no one would care. Like, because he wore goggles. Like, that's it. Like, like, otherwise, it'd be like, yeah, who cares, bro? He scores 14 points a game.
It's
good
so
for him.
True.
Yeah, but he's got goggles. Like, but he's got goggles. Like,
yeah. He was just an awkward looking dude as well. Like,
but everybody says, exactly. He's like a goofy, sort of chubby kid. He's got the goggles, but he was good, right? So it's like, but everyone know him. Oh, yeah, what, the guy with the goggles? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like
Blankenship, the field goal kicker, used to wear the Buddy Holly glass. Same thing, with the glasses. Oh, the guy with the glasses. Yeah. Like,
Rodrigo.
Like, like, you need an angle. And the kid on Wofford, he's got a pretty good angle. His last name, I gotta get his last name here. His last name is like it's like a Polish name. It's hard to say. A good start. So he's like he's got the good Polish name. He's from Winnipeg, of all places, because I'm like, why the hell? The Wofford Furman game, like, they kept showing the crowd. It was really lit in there, and they're showing the crowd. And there's like the FU signs with Furman. And then when Wofford scored, they showed a bunch of people with Canadian flags. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Why are there a bunch of Canadian flags? And you're going to get killed waving a Canadian flag in North Carolina right now. It's probably not a good idea. So I'm like, why is this still, all these people have Canadian flags? And it turns out the Wofford Center's from Winnipeg. So his family was there. But the kicker is he looks like he's like an ant, looks old. And he underhands his shots, which is even better. He's like a set shot. So like, and he still misses though.
That's
like, I don't understand this.
You're not Rick Barry, kid.
30%.
Yeah, exactly. if you're gonna do the old Rick Barry, you better be perfect at it. Or I'm gonna say, hey, listen, pal, learn how to shoot like a regular guy, because if that's not working for you, that's stupid. That's just dumb. That's dumb. Come on.
I thought that was the whole. I thought that was the whole point of the set shot, so you don't miss.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Gabe. But if he's missing, then we have a real problem here. Out of all the places, Winnipeg too. That's crazy. Guys played from Winnipeg playing there. Wow, what are the odds?
Yeah.
Pretty rare.
From Winnipeg to Wolford University. It's a crazy world that we're in.
That sure is.
Joe, any in-game bets or thoughts on the way out here? So you bet the over.
I just need a miracle.
What else thinking?
Yeah, I just need a miracle out of Pepperdine because they did take them plus the 19.5. And like I was telling you in break, I'm kicking myself because that live line for St. Mary's was only 13.5, and I could have got a nice, well, at least that bet because I was looking to middle it, but not great. I would look at St. Mary's to continue to pull away in that game. And Gabe, I think you were right on that total. It's 133.5 now. That's just too low. Minus 118 to the over. I believe you had it at at 135. So that's where I'd go. As far as the ice, it's not looking good for Utah. Cam, your Leafs are up 2-0 right now. And Utah is plus 2.5 at minus 130. I'd hit the plus 2.5.
Oh, yeah, anytime you get 2.5, you got to take a look. It's true. Good eye, Joe. Getting 2.5 goals with the home team. After the first period of play, the Leafs look good. I wouldn't be surprised. Good call, Joe. I wouldn't be surprised if Utah scored the next goal of this game, and then suddenly you're not going to be getting 2.5 anymore. Should be noted right now. Man, this game is close. 69-68 for Nickel State right now, with 18 seconds remaining. And Nickel State are going to the free throw line right now, so they have a chance to build this lead up to 3. I jumped in on Nickel State in game here. Let's see if we can cash this right now. Joe Madden, Joe, thanks for joining us. I saw you were on earlier tonight, so thanks for the extended stay on the network this evening.
Yeah, of course. Monday nights are my favorite. Sitting here with you two guys, so I'll see you next Monday, hopefully.
Hope
Good
so.
stuff, Joe. Always stuff. Always fun, Joe. Good stuff. So yeah, for people tuning in. There's been a little bit of a video glitch. I think our audio's good, but it's a little video glitch. We apologize. Hang in there. It'll get sorted out eventually.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, well, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. So it's been very, very busy 24 hours, 48 hours or so in the National Football League. And there's been a lot of stuff going on. I just see a headline here right now, and it says, Dolphins sign NFL draft bust as their backup QB. You know, listen, Zach Wilson should never have been drafted as high as he was. So, you know, is he a bust? I don't know. Were the Jets ever good before? Were they good after without him? In fact, the Jets were worse with Aaron Rodgers than they were with Zach Wilson.
Amen.
They won more games. They won more games with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Did he make mistakes? Yeah, but they pulled the trigger fast on him. He was immature. That was his problem, Cam. Like, from a football standpoint, he's got talent. Like, I remember, like, put it this way, guys. He beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills last year.
Yes.
It was last year on Monday Night Football, all right? Rodgers got hurt on the third play of the game. Zach Wilson came in a one-ball game after. And I know, like, Zach Wilson pretty well from, like, you know, being a Bills fan and watching him a bunch of times and, you know, just watching as much football as I did with Wilson. He would make mistakes and do like, whoa, you can't do that. But he also could do things that very few people could do. Like, he does have, like, a lot of ability, this kid. Sean Payton saw something in him. Like, you notice, like, smart people sort of like him. Like, Sean Payton saw something in him, brings him into Denver. It's not like it's not anything critical of Zach Wilson that they went with Jarrett Stidham instead of him as the backup. Thing is, Peyton likes Stidham. All these coaches love Stidham. Stidham's going to be a coach when he's retired.
Yes.
Right? Like, Stidham's one of these quarterback guys. He's just a smart dude. Coaches like him. And Stidham also is another guy that understands that he's not a starter in the NFL. So he's a happy backup. And basically with Denver, they were like, you know, we got a younger quarterback. You know, Bo Nix is 26 or whatever, but he's only been in the league 1 year. And they were like, you know, we like the fact that Stidham can, you know, that Bo Nix can have someone to lean on in the QB room. Like, Zach Wilson can't really be, you know, you're not going to lean on Zach Wilson in the QB room watching tape. But if you're Zach Wilson, this is a really smart move from his agent here to go to Miami. If there's a team in the National Football League whose quarterback is going to get hurt, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Correct.
Tua's not going to last 18 games. Like, he never does. He never has. There's always, like, the Dolphins. Hell, if you're the third-string quarterback on the Dolphins, you got a good chance of playing. So if you're Zach Wilson, you're going into Miami here. Like, if I was his agent, man, I would tell him, buckle up, kid. Like, get ready like you're the starter. Like, get ready this offseason like you're the starter, because I tell you what, you're going to get a chance to play. And if you play well, things can change in a hurry in the National Football League. That's my thing with Zach Wilson, Cam. Like, his story's not done yet. Like, his story's not done yet. Like, you look at Baker Mayfield, drafted first overall, the roller coaster. He just cashed in for, you know, $180 million deal, whatever the hell it was that he signed, 150, whatever it was. You look at Sam Darnold, left for dead. Ooh, Sam Darnold's a big bust. Sam Darnold just got $100 million from the Seattle Seahawks for the next 3 years, right? Like, all it takes, you need the opportunity to play, and you need to be in where somebody gets hurt. Simple as that, right? Like, Sam Darnold got his opportunity. Zach Wilson will get an up Miami Dolphins, and they got him for next to nothing, too. They got him for like $6 million plus $4 million bonus.
Bet on himself. Tua's going to get hurt. You know that. He can come in there. And there's a lot of things I like. I don't think that's fair for the people to analyze him. That Jets team sucked, and it wasn't all his fault. Yeah, sure, he does dumb stuff. He was a young kid, Gabe, but you see the athleticism he has. He can actually move his feet. He makes tough throws. He makes bad decisions, but you know what? He's still young. I think it's a great move by Miami. I think we're in agreement. He shouldn't have been drafted that high, but you know what? Great call by you on Mayfield. This guy went, oh, Mayfield sucks. Really? He's an absolute trooper, man. This guy takes a lick and keeps on ticking, and Wilson has some of that in him. Not like totally like Baker. He's cocky, but he's good. I think this is good, a really good move.
I think Wilson, though, the different Baker Mayfield, one thing with Baker's a football junkie. Like Baker like lives and breathes football. He watches tape. Like he soaks it all in, Baker Mayfield. Like, and he just, you know what I mean? Baker Mayfield is a football player. Like, he just thinks football, breathes football. I get the feeling Zach Wilson, that was one thing that, that rubbed some with the Jets the wrong way, that he was unprepared, right? It was like, dude, we get it. Like, you got a hot girlfriend and you got hot girls around you and you know what I mean and all this, but like, you got to be more prepared.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, well, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Level 2 has begun. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. The Pittsburgh Players, the Hustlers, the people to bust them, and everybody else in between. Joe Madden was just with us, and we got a late holiday miracle. I said, man, it's going to be a miracle if Pepperdine cover the number. Pepperdine were down by 28. They were down by 28 points. They end up losing by 15. The ultimate backdoor special. And our strategy, actually, I told Scott Farrell earlier in the day, he asked me about this game. I didn't bring it up. And he goes, what about the Pepperdine St. Mary's game? I said, man, listen, Pepperdine are terrible, but I think St. Mary's will take the pedal off the metal late because they got to play Gonzaga in the title game after. So maybe we could backdoor this with Pepperdine. And they actually did backdoor it.
To your earlier point, I just checked out the schedule. It's tomorrow, and it's earlier than normal, too. It's 6 o'clock Vegas time. So they have the women's game and then that game in the West Coast Conference. That's a quick turnaround. Like Gonzaga, these guys are playing San Francisco like now. Then they got to go do it back-to-back tomorrow. So interesting stuff, yeah. Disadvantage for them.
St. Mary's hope that San Francisco can take Gonzaga to triple overtime tonight.
Exactly. Wear them
down. I mean, just wearing them out in a track meet
them.
type of game. And if you're San Francisco, hey, listen, you're playing for a trip to the tournament, right? Knock off Gonzaga, and then you set up a perfect opportunity to play St. Mary's after. But yes, somebody in the chat on X asked me, and nice to see X's. It's been a crazy day. Like, we've had a little glitch here for the last 24 hours or so on the network. We're getting through it, but it's just like a little like video glitch type thing. Twitter, like X today, has been like had all kinds of issues. I know he's saying he got cyber attacked and stuff. Some people are just saying, no, just you fired everybody, bro. And you have 6 people running the site. Like,
yes, that's the worst. I think that's the real statement.
Like, oh, there's a a major government power. He's like a major government power, or somebody tried to shut us down. I'm like, they probably would have succeeded then if they tried, right? If it was some major like I saw someone online say no, like you just but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, it's been all kinds of glitches going on. George Kurtz in the house right now. Oh yeah, so sorry for the cover. So what's your pick, Cam? You taking San Francisco or Gonzaga?
I'm going to roll the dice, small play with San Francisco. And Gabe, you might have convinced me to take the Utah Hockey Club plus 2.5 goals, and let's find a happy middle. If the Leafs can win by 2, that'd be perfect. I can't say no to a home team with 40 minutes left. So San Francisco plus 14.5. Can't believe I'm doing this. Utah plus 2.5. Let's go.
I can't believe this total is as high as it is. Dear God. Let's see. 157. San Francisco, we're getting 15, and the total is 157. George Kurtz steps up. And George, Captain Chalk in the house. Who you on, George, the Leafs or Utah?
Do you really need to ask?
I'm going to say the Leafs. Leafs.
Of course it's the Leafs. Of course it's the Leafs. It's the Colorado Avalanche that are giving me a little heart attack right now, as they're not beating up on the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, we are all over the Leafs in this game here. And listen, they're dominating. They're shooting them 14-5. If it's 2-0, it could be much worse than that.
What do you have with the Blackhawks and the Avs? You laid a goal and a half, or you have a parlayed?
Both. So there you go. I got a parlay with Toronto here, and I laid the goal and a half. It's only 4 games. Listen, I'm having a miserable day. All right. I mean, between the Cowboys, who took the day off again, no shock there. We all knew they would do that. Garrett Cole news, which we all knew was coming there too. So these 4 games, I need to enjoy these 4 games. Plus, it's the last night that I'm alone for, as my family comes back tomorrow night.
So you start off with the Dallas Cowboys there. Right. What's the deal, George? Last year, listen, it's not like there's some sort of great free agent class this year, right? Like, there was no player that was like, oh, you know what, every team wants them, or we got to get them, or this and that. But with all that being stated, just the overall lack of activity of the Dallas Cowboys once again. Like, Jerry can talk about, like, last year we're going all in. This year he goes, I don't see us filling holes with free agents. So he wasn't kidding this time. But so in other words, you guys just do nothing every year now. That's the new Dallas Cowboy way, right? They just do nothing.
I don't know if you saw, I tweeted to you earlier today. The Cowboys have not spent more than $6 million on a single free agent in over 10 years. Think about that for a second. They just don't do it. I mean, I guess at times that can work when you're a deep team. You don't need anybody. This is not a deep team. This is not a good team. All right, you proved that last year. And you're worse right now than you were last year. You've made no additions. Oh, Javonte Williams, yippee. Yeah, everybody knows you're going to draft a running back here. And you lost Jordan Lewis today. Very good slot cornerback who went to Jacksonville here. So you're a worse team than you were last year. But like, Gabe, you and I talk about this all the time. Jerry doesn't care about winning. He doesn't. He's a charlatan. He's a complete charlatan who's proven he makes people think, oh, yeah, I want to win. No, he doesn't. He wants to do things his way. And if winning happens to come because of that, great. He'll take all the credit here. But it's been 30 years. It doesn't come because of that. The Cowboys win despite Jerry, not because of Jerry.
It really is unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, George. It's like, I don't understand this team, America's team. You talk about it. They have the ability to do it. And to your earlier point, you guys just like, yeah, he's fleecing everybody. Don't believe the act. Like, that's the one team you think would go out and do these things and actually get guys to improve the team. What are you going to do in that division? Washington's a step away from being there. They're making huge moves. Philadelphia, Super Bowl champs. You guys got problems, big ones.
You know what it is, though, is with the Cowboys, if you look, there's players that were available, George. Like, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, not everybody fans always think that teams should sign everybody that's available all the time. You know what I'm saying? But if you're the Cowboys, you need another wide receiver. So you had Samuel on the market, Devontae out there, DK Metcalf out there. No aggression at all, George, as far as the offense at all.
If it was 1 year, okay, fine. But it's year after year after year after year. And the Cowboys, by the way, they have weaknesses all over the place. You mentioned wide receiver. Absolutely. Running back, we know that's a problem. Offensive line's an issue. They can't stop the run. which means you need defensive line help. And you need another pass rusher besides Micah Parsons. Lawrence is probably not coming back to the Cowboys. Linebacker, it's a vast wasteland in Dallas. And as I just mentioned, they just lost Lewis. And by the way, Trayvon Diggs, he ain't playing for a long time either. He's got that injury.
Zach Martin retired.
And right, they literally need help at every position. I mean, every position they need help at.
And Washington are getting much better. And you see, if there was a team today, guys, or not just today, over the last couple of days, it's different with every team. Like, you know what I mean? You know, like you only gave up a 5th-round draft pick for Sam. You got nothing to lose, whatever. Right? But they're just sort of, you could tell like they're a team that wants to win now. It's the classic, let's get now. Well, we have Daniels on the rookie deal, right? You're seeing they're just bringing players in, right? Going all in.
Yeah, they're going for it. And good for them for going for it, right? Good for them, because you do have James on a cheap contract here. So you trade for Laramie Tunsil. You straighten up that offensive line. Although you said something on Twitter today that's so true. That's great and all. But, you know, offense wasn't really their problem. They need to get better on defense here. You know, that's really where their issues lie here. So they do have to strengthen that up. Maybe they'll go through a draft for that. To strengthen up that area there as the Toronto Maple Leafs have scored another goal, 3-0 Toronto.
Wow. Oh, I'm glad I didn't get in on that 2.5.
I did just a little bit, but now I have buyer's remorse already. Stupid. Stick with the Leafs.
I don't like hedging.
I don't either.
If I wasn't in on the game already, I would have been like, all right, yeah, but like I don't like blowing the bet.
Joe sold me pretty good. I bought her Utah plus 2.5 speech. I should have just stayed.
Colorado
with the
scored 2, by the way. McKinnon gets his 1,000th point.
Yay! Go George!
Captain Chalk feeling better right now. Look at that.
Yeah. Lucky for your good luck, George.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. The Monday Night Meltdown continues. I want to let you know that clearly a foreign power is trying to take the show down right through this. That must be part of the same attack team. Like, it really is crazy though. It just happens over and over with the video. But I think we're good on the serious side of things. George Kurtz with us, Cam Stewart in the house. So, Kurtz, what was the move? Who's a team or a move that actually mattered in the last 24 to 48 hours in the National Football League? Because there's been a lot of lateral movement here, right? The Las Vegas Raiders Super Bowl odds before they acquired Geno Smith were 100-1. They acquired Geno Smith, their Super Bowl odds are 100-1. The New York Jets get Justin Fields, their odds were 150-1. Their odds are still 150-1 right now. There's been a lot of sort of, okay, you got a new quarterback, but it doesn't make you any better than you were the year before. Who's the winner and losers in your opinion?
Well, if you're talking about who's going to the Super Bowl, neither of these two teams that I'm about to mention are going to the Super Bowl this year. Maybe not even make the playoffs. But it's hard not to like what the Chicago Bears have done. All right, they're telling you we are protecting Caleb Williams, and that's not a surprise, right? That's what the OC believes in coming from Detroit. Protect the quarterback here. So I like what they've done there. They'll give Caleb Williams a better shot. So I like that a lot. Also, the New England Patriots. I like what they've done here. And they, by the way, they offered more money to Chris Godwin, a lot more money than Tampa Bay offered him. They wanted to get him too, and they couldn't land him. I like what they've done. I think they've improved their team dramatically. Unfortunately for both of those teams, New England's still nowhere near what the Buffalo Bills are. I'm not even sure if they're anywhere near what the Miami Dolphins are, but they're better. And Chicago probably plays in the best division in football. But I like what they've done, both teams. I think they did very well here. And I'm going to be very interested, by the way. I know we're hearing it off and on Twitter all night. Aaron Rodgers almost certainly going to Pittsburgh, I would think. Him and Tomlin are apparently meeting to see if they can get together here. Don't you find it a little crazy that you saw you trade for Metcalf, but yet you don't have a quarterback? A little weird that you sort of putting the dessert before dinner there. So we'll see how that works out as well. Because Pittsburgh, if you don't get Rodgers, who's going to be your starting quarterback? Daniel Jones?
Point. I thought the same thing. It's a weird era that we're in right now. You see, I always think that's weird too when you see they hire for a general manager, George. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? Like you see this in the modern NFL. Well, they hired the coach, and now they're going to bring in a GM. It's like, well, that's kind of a weird dynamic right there. But Cam, the Seattle Seahawks are retooled. What do you think about the moves that they made?
I'm not thrilled, but this is the way it is. You talked about it. McDonald's stripping it down. Are we going to win with Sam Darnold? I kind of liked your tweet about Fields because he can move. Seattle's offensive line is deplorable. It's one of the worst in the National Football League. Obviously, they're going to draft an offensive lineman in the first round. They have a lot of guys targeted. They got to get a couple guys, but I'm kind of concerned. I didn't like what I see from Darnold at the end of the year. Sure, was it Minnesota's system? But that's the thing. If you don't protect this guy, you're dead. Now you lose Metcalf, too. Smith and Jigba's amazing, Gabe, but I guess it's a complete rebuild with these guys right now, and wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a quarterback in the mid-rounds.
George, what do you think of the Seahawks?
Well, we talked about it Friday night with Cam, right? So this is what Cam said Friday night, and I kind of agree. I think you got Donald cheap. All right, I think you did get him cheap, and he's cheaper than what Geno Smith wanted. And maybe if you didn't want to pay DK Metcalf the money here because you are sort of in a rebuild, what's going to take a couple of years, you want to pay him, $100 million guaranteed, whatever it's going to be there. I sort of get it, but I think Cam said the important thing there. What Donald are we getting here? And it doesn't matter. You only signed a couple of year deal, and you're going to be in the same place you were here. Donald is that quarterback who didn't play well at the end of the season here. Then this is a complete bust. You play in it's a very even. It's not the best division of football, but the Niners are going to be good. The Rams look to be maybe better than good here. And Arizona is still that annoying little team here. So I don't know if they've done enough here. But as long as they're going to continue with the path, if you're going to rebuild. That's fine. And by the way, if you're going to rebuild completely, I wouldn't even sign Donald. What's the point of doing that?
That's the whole thing, Gabe. You don't want to be in that team in the middle, right? And that's what it looks like Seattle's going to be. And that's the worst place to be. I'd rather them be bad for a while and then totally rebuild, but we'll see.
No, but they're not that far away either. Like you just said, that division isn't as daunting as it used to be. the Seattle Seahawks defense is ahead of schedule, right? The defense is good. McDonald is a really good defensive coach. They've got good young talent on the defensive side of the football. Their defense is good. Their offense was mediocre with all those guys. Let's just call it out for what it is, right? There's only one football. They wanted to get Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's going to be the guy. They wanted to get him the football. And they, you know what? It wasn't like they were running to the window to trade Metcalf. Like you said, George, Metcalf wanted a lot of money, bro. He's getting $30 million a year. If you're the Seattle Seahawks, what you've been on our team, he is good. So I'm not throwing Metcalf under the bus, but I understand it from their perspective. And as far as Geno Smith is concerned, I like Geno. He's serviceable, but he's also going on 35, 36 years old right now. And like you said, you're getting Sam Darnold for cheaper than what Geno Smith is going to get paid from the Raiders. All right, like you got a pretty good deal with Sam Darnold, that $33 million per or whatever. And he's 8 years younger. He throws a better football. Geno Smith, there was big limitations to Geno. The only thing is, if you look at Sam Darnold, he's like Geno in that he's going to make plays, but there's going to be a mistake or two. They're both not mobile. That's a problem with the offensive line that they have. But we'll see what they do in the draft. There's definitely a little bit of a retooling going on here with Seattle. But I don't hate what they've done. They were already middle of the pack, Cam. They're already spinning their wheels.
No, I know. I'm quite aware.
You weren't going to win with Geno Smith. Sam Darnold's cheaper. He's younger. I don't have a problem with the Sam Darnold move. That's one that's like, all right, you know what I mean? You got a quarterback now. Let's see what we're going to do moving forward here. You got to get some more skill position players in there. But for me, even though I'm not the biggest Davante Adams fan, I just like the Rams' aggression, right? It's like, all right, moving on from Kupp, we're gonna put pair Nakua with Adams. I like the Rams. The Rams are legitimate contenders in the NFC now. Especially with Sean McVay, man. You got.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, what sports books could go there. I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it here. George Kurtz in the house. Cam Stewart throwing it down with us. We got some goals. Utah, that plus 2.5 is suddenly looking a lot better now. 3-2. Toronto Maple Leafs lead Utah 3-2. Avalanche are now up 2-0 on the Chicago Blackhawks. We got an upset in the making. Although Portland State were only 4.5-point favorites, they're like 9-1 or something, 10-0 the last 10 times they played against the Vandals. But the Vandals are winning 53-37. It's a hell of a lot lower scoring than I want it to be. I'm going to lose that bet. Youngstown State and Cleveland State are tied at 37 right now with 12 minutes left, trying to get to the Horizon Championship game. All right, so baseball. We're going to bounce around here. We got baseball season around the corner. I was tweeting about this earlier today, and last week we talked about the American League East, and the Red Sox were a hot bet. We were talking about the Red Sox having a nice camp this year. You look at this division, and you can just sort of sense we kind of knew that Cole was going to be injured, and the wheels are falling off for George Kurtz's New York Yankees before the season has already begun. Yet the Yankees are still favored to win the American League East right now. Yankees plus 140, Orioles plus 260, Red Sox, last week when we talked about them, were plus 425. They're plus 300 right now. The Rays are 8-1, and the Blue Jays go from 13-1 to 11-1 in the American League East. Kurtz, what are your thoughts on the American League East situation now?
I mean, I said it last week. Listen, I think Boston's going to be a very good team. I do. But they've got some injuries as well here. Brian Bellows dealing with something there for starting pitcher. We don't know what they'll get out of Walker Buehler this year. Let's see what Devers, if he causes problems about getting off third base here. But I like their team a lot. I don't know what's listening to you two, but I decided to buy in on Toronto again. I don't think it's the Yankees, by the way. I mean, I don't want to be all doom and gloom here. I mean, you could make an argument about the Yankees. Well, they didn't have Garrett Cole the first 3 months of last season, but you had Louis Hill. That's the thing. You don't have Louis Hill this year, but you got Max Fried. All right. And so maybe the Yankees can survive this. Their offense should be better. I mean, the Yankees were a horrific fundamental team last year, right? They were terrible on defense, terrible running the bases, little things. They were just awful. Theoretically, that should be better. They got rid of some of those players who were bad at that, Gleyber Torres, so maybe they'll be better. But the Yankees have no room for error here. I mean, anybody else gets hurt. Max Fried gets hurt. It's all over but the crying here. I've always, this will be my third straight year. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but the Blue Jays, when you look at their team, sooner or later it has to be their year. This is a good team. It's a good rotation. It's a decent bullpen. The offense should be good. So I think it's the Blue Jays or the Red Sox. I don't think it'll be the Yankees. I don't think it'll be Baltimore. I think they've got all the same problems with the Yankees. Lots of rotation issues there. And Tampa Bay, weird schedule. You're playing at Steinbrenner Field, not your own home park, so you don't have a home game really all season here. I think it's the Blue Jays or the Red Sox.
Cam, what's your prediction? Who's going to win the American League East?
I still think the Yankees can win the American League East. You know what George said? They have injuries in the past, but just the lineup, the way they, George, too, your bullpen, I think it's one of those things they can shorten games. The Blue Jays, I'm going to take their wins total over, Gabe, but there's still flaws with this team. We'll see. But Baltimore, I don't understand why these guys don't have a pitcher. Like, you look at the young hitters they have in this lineup, and we take Santander away from there. And that's actually huge for the Blue Jays, too, to get that home run power. The guy's a monster, but I still think the Yankees will win the division, Gabe.
I'm going to say the Boston Red Sox. I'm going to buy into the Red Sox. I think Walker Buehler stays. They have a good staff. Everything, Devers will be fine, George. They're already over that drama right now. It's a very winnable division. I am doom and gloom about the Yankees. I think more bad things will just happen to them as the season comes. But 11-1 for the Blue Jays. I would rather just bet the 11-1 on the Jays and trust them with the win total. You know what I mean? If they have a good year, hey, why not? Let's get the 11-1. And see if they can catch lightning in a bottle. I don't think they'll trade Guerrero midseason, right? So you're going to have that hanging over them. But Guerrero needs to play well one way or the other, right? And one thing with Guerrero, I've been on his side, and, everyone's been critical of the Jays all the time and stuff, but his numbers are pretty crazy. But one thing, the Jays could have stopped this by just paying him, last year or whatnot, right? But he was struggling, right? So he was struggling. So it's like, all right, let it show. I like him, but he wants way too much money. I mean, the first time he actually spoke openly about it the other day, he did. He did an interview about it, and he openly admitted, the Soto and the Ohtani deals, changed things. And then he dropped, he goes, my deal was only $100 million less in that range.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. We're throwing it down here, although I'm going to start throwing things as we throw it down tonight. But there we go. We've clicked back. It's like a glitch night tonight. But shout out to everybody joining us on Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. I tweeted this out earlier. If you look at the divisions this year in baseball, it should be a fun year and a very competitive year. Every division, you can make an argument. Like, there's no locks. Like, I was looking for, even parlays. I like to parlay some divisions and stuff. It's like, all right, the Dodgers are minus 700. Other than that, if you look at the National League Central, you got the Cubs minus 110. The Brewers are plus 280. Reds plus 450. Pirates 10-1. Cards 12-1. The American League East, we went over those odds. The American League West, the Astros plus 165. The Mariners plus 200. Rangers plus 200. The National League East, very competitive. You got the Braves plus 135, the Mets plus 180, the Phillies plus 190. American League Central, very competitive. Tigers plus 225, Twins plus 225, Royals plus 280, Guardians plus 290. George, every division, with the exception of the National League West, is kind of up in the air this year.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers are obviously the one big favorite where we all think are going to win. I would think my second favorite is probably the Phillies. The Mets have no pitching staff. Yeah, the Mets don't have much of a pitching staff. The Braves, I mean, now they're saying Ocuna's mid-May, Strider about the same. We don't know if those guys are, certainly Strider's going to be Strider, and Sale going to have that kind of year again. So, yeah, I think the Phillies are going to win that division. I feel pretty good about them. But after that, I mean, I have who my bets are in, but I wouldn't say, oh, I love this team. Like I said, I like the Blue Jays or Red Sox, but the Yankees could be there. And I said I don't feel great about the Red Sox or Jays either. The American League Central, I'm going with Kansas City, but don't feel great about it. The National League Central, I think they're all about the same here. I think the Cubs should be the favorite, but I'm not betting on them. I took a shot on the Reds here. Maybe I was a year off on them here. But my favorites to win that I do feel confident in are the Dodgers, obviously, like everybody else, and the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Brewers, every year, people say the same thing, right? Every year. And listen, I towards win total over like 5 years in a row, and I won it every year. And every year, but they're not going to be as good this year. They can't keep it up. But even I get caught up in it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see how they're going to be good anymore. But all they do is win a division. They've won the division the last 2 years. And if the Cubs at minus 110 is not a good bet. Like, you're not getting good value. Brewers plus 280. Francona is a hell of a manager. They'll get us. The Pirates and the Cardinals. You know, it's amazing that the Cardinals guys are who they are now. We're talking about, like, you know, one of the most consistent, best organizations in sports. Now they're like nothing. You know what I mean? They're not even in play here. What's your analysis of the Cardinals coming into the year, Kurtz?
They couldn't seem to figure out what they wanted to do, right? You let Goldschmidt go, which is fine, right? He was terrible last year for 2/3 of the season. You wanted to trade Arenado, but he said no. You know, I'm happy here. My family's happy here. I'm not going anywhere. And that seems to have screwed them over a little bit because they couldn't move him. Sonny Gray's the same thing. He's got a no-trade contract. He said, no, I don't want to leave here. They all love St. Louis, which is great. Why they held on to Eric Fetty, I don't know. His contract is only $7.5 million. He would have a lot of value here. But it seems like they were sort of stuck in the middle here. Do we start from scratch, or do we, stay what we have here in a weaker division? I mean, they have gotten screwed somewhat. I mean, all their young players, Donovan, Gorman, Walker, Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, there's somebody else I'm forgetting in there. They really haven't hit. And I mean hit as in, become really good players here, not as in batting here. So, they were players that everybody loved, but they really haven't. Dylan Carlson when he was there, right? They become the players that some people thought they were going to become. They're in the right division, so I don't think they're necessarily done here, but a lot would have to go right for them. Their pitching staff is questionable, to say the least. I'm more disappointed, Gabe, with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, you got Skeens, you got Jared Jones, you got Keller. That's a big three that no one else in that division has, and yet Tommy Pham's your leadoff hitter, and Andrew McCutchen. And I love McCutchen, by the way. He's your cleanup guy.
He's 90 years old.
Kidding me? And it's ridiculous. I mean,
McCutchen,
if they would have just added a bat.
I know, he's old.
But how do you not do anything? How do you not make any moves?
No, you're right.
If they need a batter or two, they could be the favorite in that division.
He's a terrible owner. The Pittsburgh Pirate owner is bad. Like, he's a bad owner. Good point, though, Kurtz, as far as the Cardinals are concerned. Because the Cardinals have never really been a type of team that has spent a ton of money, right? Like, they've been well run, but they've sort of been thrifty along the way doing it because they've always had a good system. They've always had players come up, and then they'll add a player or two to it, right? They used to have good pitchers. They'll bring veteran pitchers in, whatnot. But if your minor league talent doesn't produce and you're not like some sort of free agent destination, I know people like it once they play there, but some people do. So it's a tough combination that they're in right now. Like, you know what I mean? They're never. I don't think they're ever going to be the power that they were. But it's something you raise about Arenado, and it's a good point because you had multiple teams as well interested in Arenado. He doesn't want to get traded. Nobody's ripping him for it. Everybody rips Kevin Durant though, right? Kevin Durant didn't want to get traded from Phoenix, and Bradley Beal didn't want to leave Phoenix. Like George, Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. Like the Phoenix Suns recruited them basically to go there. They go there. They like it. The team's not winning. So the team's like, well, we want to trade you now. And they're like, listen, you told me you wanted me to sign here. I like it here. I don't want to get traded. And they're getting called out for being selfish. They don't care about winning. It's like a double standard. I guess if Nolan Arenado was black and he played in the NBA, he'd get ripped. But no one's ripping Arenado for this, George.
We see this over and over again, by the way. I mean, Arenado, that's what he negotiated into his contract. For all we know, he took less money to get that clause put in there, that the no trade clause, right? I guess, did we see it on the NHL trade deadline? I mean, Cam would know this, right? Toronto, Mitch Marner, apparently he said, no, I don't want to go either. No. Because they had a deal with him for Rantanen, all right? And he didn't want to go. I said, I may be annoyed as a fan sometimes when you want a player to go and he used the clause, but reality is he negotiated that in there. All right, the GM put that in there. He said, "Okay, I agree." So when the player uses it, I don't think we should really get mad at it. Disappointed, fine, but mad at the player doesn't make sense. Everybody knew it was there. It's not like, oh, I didn't realize he had a no trade clause. Now I can't trade him. We knew it was there. He didn't want to go. This is why he signed here. This is why he may have signed for less money, because he wanted to play with this team in this geographical area, whatever it might be. So it is what it is. Arenado doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to uproot his family here. He does have a list of, I think, 5 teams. I think he would have accepted a deal to Houston, but they couldn't work it out there. I think the Yankees are a team he'd accept a deal to, too, but the Yankees don't seem to have much interest because with the salary cap, his contract would be double. He's making $20 million, be $40 million to the Yankees, and Hal's not interested in doing that. So it is what it is here, but I don't think we should be crushing these guys when they use what's in their contract. They negotiated it. Good for them.
What a disaster for the Leafs with this Mitch Marner stuff, Cam, right now.
It is.
Marner's got thin skin to begin with. Marner's father's got thin skin, the people around him. If he knows that you were already, like, you brought his name up and stuff and you were shopping him, you could already tell. But from what I heard, too, is that basically, look, he wants to get paid big-time money like everybody else. They can't keep everybody, but Tavares' contract is up. They're going to make a mistake if they mess up this stuff with Mitch Marner. But the thing is, the Leafs are in a weird spot because they have the same team, but they never win all the time, right? So I guess they're thinking, all right, we were going to break this up. But I don't believe they would have traded Marner for Rantanen personally, Cam. I don't believe that deal was on the table.
I agree. Mitch Marner, and you can say what you want about his father, and he is thick-skinned, Gabe. I totally agree, but he's a wicked hockey player. He's a fantastic playmaker. I'd like to see him shoot more because he does have a lethal shot, and, they're happy to be in Toronto. You said it, though. Is that his dad and his meddling and stuff like that? Like, what are you doing? He's a grown man who plays for the team, and the guy's always lingering, and, I'm going to get this guy fired for writing a bad story about my kid. But, yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting offseason, Gabe, because he wants a boatload.
If I was Marner, too, like, it wouldn't be bad for his career to play on something like, Marner on the Las Vegas Golden Knights or something, right? He ends up on some big-time team. He's going to enjoy life more. I don't think he likes this Toronto stuff all the time.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, what sports books could go there. I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the Pittsburgh Players, the Hustlers, the people that busted, but everybody else in between. Toronto Maple Leafs and the Utah Hockey Club. Utah have rallied back. It's now 3-3. In-game totals 8.5. The Leafs are minus 125 right now. Meanwhile, the Avalanche are up 3-0 on the Blackhawks. College basketball. Man, this has been a close game all game long. 48-48 right now. Youngstown and Cleveland State. Under 4 minutes remaining. And I got Cleveland State, and I got the over of this game. I don't even think if it goes to overtime, it would go over the number. Like it's that far off.
115.5? No.
Yeah, I got 137.5, Cam. 138.5. Like, you know what? Maybe. Like, you know what? Yeah, it did. Like, yeah, because it's 50-50 right now. So if it went to overtime, it would be like 60-60. It could get there, maybe.
You said it. This game's been within 4 the whole day. Like, no, like Youngstown
State. No, it's been within 1 all game, like pretty much. Like, after the early start,
Yeah, like they were up like double, like, and then after that, it's just been like basket for basket. Very good game. Youngstown State, the Penguins are good, and Cleveland State, as you know, Gabe, being your team from the Horizon, these guys are always
ugly.
There.
I don't know if it's good. It's ugly. It's 50-50.
Well, yeah,
it's bad.
It's like a fight. When you get Horizon League basketball, it's like a rock fight there, but they're evenly matched teams. Let's just say that. Interesting game.
Horizon's very, like we said, it's very MAC-like in football. Right, it's a good comparison. It's like it's very erratic. One game, a team might score 90 points, and the next game they might score 48. Like they're all over the place. But the upset is rolling right now. Idaho and Portland State. It's 68-55 with 2 minutes left. So it looks like the Vandals are going to win a game. Like they never win big games. They're about to win a game. And the Dons are up 7-5 on Gonzaga right now. We're off and running at the Orleans Casino and Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, so we're looking at, we were just talking about some of these baseball futures. We'll get to a couple of basketball tournament numbers I want to get to, but as long as we got Kurtz here. But looking at these baseball plays, and they had one up here. Let's get up the to make the playoffs number here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. I'll live with it. But the Seattle Seahawks, we see the Seattle Seahawks, and they don't spend money, and they're always, they never take that next step. They're retooling right now, and it's like a Seattle thing. We talk about it. You got the Seattle Mariners right now who could win. They're on the verge of winning right now, and it's to the point that even Justin Turner called them out, guys. Right? It's pretty bad. Like, that's a real shot there. Like when a player that played on the team says, yeah, I don't understand. Like, they're so good and their owner just doesn't bring anybody in. But I'm expecting an offensive bounce back a little bit this year. They can't be as bad as they were last year. And you could argue they won't be as good pitching. But it's a very manageable division. And it's plus 100 for the Seattle Mariners to make the playoffs, Kurtz. That's going to be a bet that I'm making. I say Seattle, make the playoffs. Dude, there's 3 wild cards. If you look at the American League, suddenly the Central doesn't suck, but there's no like real powerhouse in the American League this year, bro.
The problem is there aren't too many bad teams either. How many teams can you really say?
It's good.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, all right, the White Sox aren't making the playoffs.
Even the A's, I don't think suck, George. I think the A's win 73, 75 games, whatever.
Right. The A's, and the A's are going to be fine. All right. Fine isn't. They're not going to lose 100 games here. So there are only about 3 teams I would say aren't going to make the playoffs in the American League. The problem for the Mariners is Kirby's already hurt. All right. That's not. And they're going to win by their pitching staff. I might agree with you that they can't be as bad offensively as they were last year, but they're not going to be good. I mean, Raley's your first baseman, Dylan Moore, Polanco, Crawford.
Yeah, they really did nothing.
They got a Rosarena, though, man. They got a Rosarena. They got
he sucked last year. He completely sucked. All right, he fell apart. That's why Tampa got rid of him. They were right.
Though, George. Brian Wu's your 5th starter. That guy's awesome. So if Kirby isn't like, how long is Kirby? You got Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Kirby, Miller, and Wu. That's a wicked rotation.
It is. How many 3-2 games can you win? Because that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to win a lot of 3-2 games here. Kirby's got the shoulder injury. They really don't know how long he's going to be out for. They're hoping maybe May 1st.
These are the odds right now to make the playoffs. The Dodgers are 50-1 to make the playoffs. It's literally minus 5,000. The New York Yankees, minus 400. There's not a no option here. There's only yes. It's not a yes/no deal. Because I would say, you know what, maybe, and you can, actually, you know what, there is. Let's go they will have this. There's not a option on that page, but make the playoffs. There usually is, though. Where's the not to make the playoffs? All right, first time winner, no. All right, I'll get back to this after. But look at it, the to make the playoffs odds. Yankees 400, no. Braves minus 370, no. Mets minus 270. I was saying they're not going to make it, but they're not good bets. Let's see, can you parlay these? I say they won't let me parlay it. They actually do. I'm surprised about that. So they let you parlay a few the playoff futures. Mets are minus 270. Phillies are minus 270. Royals are minus 190. Excuse me, the Orioles are minus 190. I don't see a play that I like here yet. Houston minus 160. Cubs minus 150. Red Sox minus 130. That's the first bet I like on the board, guys, like looking at the playoff odds here. I say the Red Sox will make the playoffs. I think Kurtz's Yankees struggle this year. I think the Orioles take a step back. The Blue Jays are who they are. They'll look good for 2 weeks. They'll look bad for 2 weeks, and whatever. They'll just tease everybody. They'll do their thing. The Rays are the Rays, but they got that weird situation that they're dealing with this year. I like the Red Sox. And the fact is, guys, this bet, I don't even need to make the playoffs. Like, I bet the Red Sox at plus 300. I'm not going to lie. I didn't get it at plus 425. I missed it. I did take it at plus 300. And I'm going to say the Red Sox make the playoffs. Kurtz, yes or no? Red Sox make the playoffs. Minus 130.
Yeah, I think they will. I think ownership will, if they have any problems, I think ownership will spend at the trade deadline this year and get them what they need, whether it be a pitcher, a bat, whatever it might be. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think the Red Sox make the playoffs.
Arizona's minus 115, Texas minus 115, San Diego plus 100. The Seattle Mariners is my other one, guys. I'm going to take the Mariners to make the playoffs at plus 100. I think you know what? I think the Mariners, this is it. It's this year or never. Tigers are plus 110. Twins are plus 110. Guardians plus 115. Brewers plus 115. Royals plus 130. Thanks, George. Have a good one, Kurt.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Possible that while every other state is trying to copy New York and get that 51% tax on sports betting, is it possible that New York will actually lower their taxes? That's surprising.
The question is, of course, well, what sports books could go there? I mean, we're already at 9 that are the biggest ones out there in the market. So, I mean, who are you really missing?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. Quickest 120 minutes in sports talk and television. It's flown by tonight. All right, so we've got a couple of minutes left, and you know what? Thanks to our crew, I told them to get these tournament odds ready for all these tournaments. We'll get back to it tomorrow, but I want to get to the conference tournaments set to begin. The SEC arguably has been the best conference in the history of college basketball this year, according to the numbers. Right? It's been a juggernaut. Like, it's basically like Running Man, like, in this conference. I mean, hell, Auburn have played, like I said the other day, like Auburn are like 17-2 or something in quad one games. Other teams like have like 3 quad one wins and stuff. Like every night you're playing a top 10 team pretty much, a top 15 team when you play in the SEC. So it's been a bloodbath. Yet there's no value at Auburn, guys, to win this tournament. You know, being the favorite, especially when you have so many other good teams. The Florida Gators, to me, Cam, the Gators are a team. The Gators are a damn good basketball team.
You're
like,
right.
they're seriously legit good, but no one's talked about them this year for whatever reason. And I don't really, it's weird. Like, sometimes some teams will just sort of fly under the radar with the media, but people have talked about Auburn. Oh, Auburn are the best team in the country all the time. People have talked about Alabama all the time because Alabama are fun to watch and they're high scoring and they play in crazy games. People don't really talk about Tennessee. They don't believe in Rick Barnes, and they figure Tennessee's going to find a way to lose all the time. But you look at the odds here. Auburn are the favorites to win the tournament. Then you get Florida. Then you got Alabama. Then you got Tennessee. Then there's a big drop-off in odds. So like plus 150, plus 275, plus 400, plus 550. And then you get Kentucky at 22-1, A&M, and all these teams are dangerous, man. You're getting Missouri, who's a good team, 30-1, not even to win the NCAA tournament, to win the SEC tournament. Ole Miss 65-1. It's crazy, this tournament. But I do believe that the Florida Gators, I think the Gators are like really dangerous going into March Madness. I'm all in on the Gators. I like the Gators a lot, but nobody buys into Tennessee. I think plus 550 with the Tennessee Volunteers isn't a bad bet, guys. They're capable of making it to like the SEC conference championship game. Like, they're that good, Tennessee. They can beat anybody, especially on a neutral court. And you get the Florida Gators at plus 275. Not a bad number right there either. But this tournament, and hell, even Alabama at plus 400. But my dark horse, Tennessee at plus 550. My winner, I'll say the Florida Gators are going to win the SEC conference tournament.
I'm with you. I think the Florida Gators have been disrespected. Let's remember, just a month ago, they beat Auburn on the road by 90-81. They're a damn good team. Look at them, Gabe. Like, they had one stumbling block against Georgia, and they just beat the hell out of each other in the SEC. You know, they're smoking LSU by 14. They beat A&M 14. They're number 14. They beat them by 19. They smoke everybody. They took care of Alabama. That's another thing about Florida that I like, Gabe. They're good on the road. Look at their road wins. They beat Alabama on the road. They beat Auburn on the road. The Florida Gators are disrespected. We bet these guys this year, and they cover numbers. They beat good teams. I'm agreeing with you 100% on the Gators.
The Gators, though, they're not disrespected by the odds makers. The odds makers know. The public really hasn't bought into them. You know what it is, too? The Gators don't really have, like one star. Even though and the thing is, they kind of do. They have a bunch of dudes that score. I mean, that's the thing with the Gators. They have like literally 5. I think they got 5 guys that score double digits. Condon has 11 points a game. Richard has 13 points a game. Clayton's sort of their guy, 17 points a game. Martin, 14 points a game. Most college teams don't have that type of depth where it's like, all these guys can, like, on any given night, any one of these guys could go off. Normally, all right, let's stop this guy from scoring and we can win the game. And Florida, it's all about metrics, like when you really want to dig in, because all these teams have really good records. And then you really dig in, but the Florida Gators are ranked top 10 in both offense and defense, right? That's the big key right there. They have the 3rd ranked offense in college basketball, and they have the 10th ranked defense in college basketball, right? They've got 4 guards that can play, shooting guards, point guards. They've got 2 dudes that are 7 foot. They got big men. They got guards. They really have it all, the Florida Gators. They're a legitimate national champion contender, but the media is not really on to them, but the odds makers are. So I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Big fan of the Gator team. Plus 275. Let's say the Gators cut down the nets in the SEC Conference Championship game. All right, we got to get out of here. 12-12. San Francisco and Gonzaga. In-game total, 150.5. A little lower scoring right now. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.